This is what I like to see. Okay, you have New York restaurants, I believe this is New York City, are organizing to ban Cuomo from their establishments for life. Hear that again. There are restaurants in New York City that are organizing to officially ban Governor Cuomo, and I would assume his family, which means you, Chris, from all eateries and establishments that are participating for life. They say, quote, he can eat some shitty roadside diner outside of Albany, but he will not be served anywhere in New York City. So it says verboten. That is, he is forbidden. So this is interesting at the nationalfile.com. Go check it out for yourself. But I'll read you the article here. Before I do that, take a minute, like the video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and then let's dig into what I can only imagine will be some well-worded anger fueled and funneled towards Cuomo, because he deserves it. He deserves it for killing all the old people. And we can get into how he did that, but you're all aware, pushing old people, pushing sick people into old folks' homes to get the old people sick, then they die. What do you call that? But he did a lot more. He's recently shut down more businesses than he had in previous periods of time where lockdowns were less effective in certain areas. He's allowed the mayor of New York City, Bill DeBlasio, to create these little checkmark areas, these little segments between different blocks. So the orange area from this block through the next 8 blocks, they're all locked down. But everything, from that point forward 8 blocks could be wide open. They have them color coded. It's ridiculous. It is completely color revolution fascism. They say in an unprecedented move, the beleaguered restaurant owners of New York City made a declaration on social media that they have banded together to permanently ban Cuomo from setting foot in their establishments, even if only to use the restroom. And maybe I'm wrong, but I thought in New York City there are some laws that require public businesses and establishments to provide water and restroom to anyone that requires it or asks for it legally, especially if they have some medical emergency. If they say this is a medical emergency and I need to use the restroom, I think you legally have to in some states. They're saying they're not going to. This decree, they said, is effective immediately. He can eat at some shitty roadside diner outside of Albany, but he will not be served anywhere in New York City, known universally as the world's greatest dining destination. Bar owner Larry Baird said. I think that says bar owner. Quote, if he has to use the restroom, he can go pee on the street corner. That's what he wants anyways. True story. These leftist governors and mayors, they want people peeing and pooping on the street. You can see it in California. You see it in New York, especially in the subways. So I hear. I had a friend that moved to New York, and they said that they had a new smell every day for like a week, because you never had smelled some of the rot and disgust that is in New York City. They say other restaurateurs say that they have suffered enough under the illogical and draconian edicts that have emanated from Cuomo's gubernatorial chambers. Say that one 5 times fast. Quote, he can eat some roads. Okay, so I'm not going to say that one again, right? It's from the Washington Examiner. They're tweeting it in a nice little article they put together. It says, lifelong Coney Island resident Val Torre said that he's throwing in the towel and moving to Florida. It's 70 degrees every day. My Coney Island childhood friends have all retired to Florida now. All the restaurants and bars are open, and the grannies live. So there you go. Val says that he is going to Florida because his friends are there, the bars and restaurants are open, and the grannies are still alive. Val Torre is moving from New York because all the grannies that Cuomo killed, he can't lie with them anymore. He's got to find a nice lady to lie down on top of. So he's going to move to Florida, where he can find a nice old granny in one of these bars or restaurants that's open, and he'll have some help from his childhood friends who have already moved there. Governor Cuomo, can you see why this is a problem for your state when the older people that have settled, that have money, leave, and you only have the poor people demanding you tax the 1% and eat the rich? You're only leaving yourself, buddy. And you think, okay, well, I'm going to get away from all of this that I'm hearing online because it's so bad. Oh my gosh, my job is so terrible. No one knows how hard it is to be the governor of the greatest state in the greatest country. Oh. You want to go out and have a bite? Not going to be allowed. Not going to be able. They're going to say, sorry, Governor Cuomo, you're not welcome here. It says an overwhelming number of members in this Facebook group called New York City Restaurants Open cheer the executive order banning Cuomo from ever being served at all New York City restaurant establishments ever again. It says one member wrote, completely schizophrenic behavior. How are they coming up with these rules is beyond any logical reasoning, referring to the governor. Another irate New York City lifer exclaimed, quote, he can dine at Gracie Mansion if he wants hospitality in Manhattan. He ain't getting in here. There, that's my impression for you. This is written by Frank Salvato. You can fact check him all you like, but there it is. You can see it from the Coney Island blog. Check that out. You can also see this linked at the Washington Examiner. But I wanted it to come to you from the National File, because I think they did a nice job. And it tells you everything you need to know. The New York City lifers, the restaurateurs, the entrepreneurs who are not just protecting the bar... Oh my Jesus. These restaurant owners, the entrepreneurs, the people that are rising up against the governor, these are the people who have for a long time still been employing and paying, in many cases, the insurance on unemployment to allow these people to have some kind of subsistence from government, things that these bar owners and restaurateurs have already paid into, both through payroll tax, unemployment taxes, all kinds of taxes that a business owner has to pay. And probably more people watching this are aware of that than any other audience. But those people are paying for these protesters who are also their employees. As sad as it is to say, you can look at people like AOC and think, well, hang on, she was a New York City bartender. Certainly she should be upset with Governor Cuomo. Is she arguing against this? No, because they're hypocrites. So the restaurateurs have had enough. The entrepreneurs have had enough. They're rising up. They're saying no. They're putting their foot down. And, they're calling bullshit. They're saying, if you want to shut down our establishments, then whomever is left standing at the end of this, and there will be an end of this, and there will be restaurants still standing in New York. Because like he says, New York is the world's over greatest destination for cuisine. I thought it was Paris, frankly. But he says it's New York. Now I understand New York City also has more Parisian restaurants than Paris, just for the size of it. So you can take that into consideration when you think about that quote from him, that New York City is the greatest place to eat. There will still be restaurants when COVID is done. There will still be restaurants when Trump is elected again after all of the riots happen and they take out a lot of different restaurants and other storefronts that are, city-facing and street-facing. Can you imagine all the buildings and businesses that will be destroyed in the riots when they announce that Donald Trump is inaugurated again? Anyways, these restaurateurs are brave. They're actually showing some courage. They're stepping up and they're putting pen to paper. They're going on the record and saying, Cuomos of any kind are no longer allowed in our restaurants. Period. If they step foot in a restaurant here, they will be asked to leave. So that is the story. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to the channel with your notification bell turned on so that YouTube will do a better job to make sure that you're kept in the loop on all of the different things that will become verboten in the future. It is not simply governors being barred from restaurants. I'm sure we're going to see other things to come, and I'll keep you in the loop as they do. Make sure you like the video, as I said, subscribe, and do everything else that you can do to keep America afloat.